What's going on, everybody? Thank you all so much for tuning into another important segment of Mi Casa es Su Casa. And today I have a very special guest here to tell you a very important story and hopefully get your help. I have Shannon O'Toole with me today. Hi, how you doing, Shannon?
I am doing well, and thank you so much for giving us a voice here.
No, it's absolutely my pleasure. Obviously, there's a lot circling this issue, but to keep a long story short, and I'll let her tell you the longer story, Shannon is a veteran and has worked with veterans in her area to create somewhat of a sanctuary for disabled and homeless veterans. And of course, as usual, the government is putting their money over their veterans. We've seen several examples of this over the year from both the Democratic and the Republican Party, claiming that they're going to give veterans raises, but they won't even give a raise above 1%. Shannon's retired. It seems like everybody in the background here is retired, and I am as well. We haven't gotten a raise over 1%.
Wait a minute, Niko. You're a veteran?
I am. Fort Bragg. 525 Battlefield Surveillance.
Thank you, brother. I love you even more now. Yay for you! All right.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is something. I mean, especially being born and raised. Well, not born and raised on Fort Bragg. I was born in New York, but we moved down to Fort Bragg. And you see the situation with veterans and homeless veterans, and quite honestly, a lot of it is preventable if the government would simply invest and do their job. People don't even know what their benefits are when they get out. You know, when I was an insurance agent, there were people finding out about TRICARE that they qualified for it because I told them. They were 55 years old. I mean, full benefits, struggling to pay for surgeries, going bankrupt to pay for surgeries, 20 years.
And their spouses.
The government didn't want to invest a little bit of extra money to let people know, hey, you know you have TRICARE, correct? And you need to be able to access it. To send out pamphlets to people's houses, you know, like it's not that difficult.
Even a briefing as you leave. We do have the briefings, and they hand you your DD 214 and say never lose it, and then that's
pretty much where that goes. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
If you want to go ahead and explain to them exactly what's going on with your situation with the Veterans Chapel,
sure,
you can kind of understand what's happening.
Sure. Well, I am, as you said, a veteran, 100% disabled. I'm 18 years in the service, retired senior master sergeant, and I was medically discharged on October 2006. I dedicated myself at that point to breeding, raising, and training German Shepherds, and this does come around to the story, for veterans that have PTSD. And this was something I got benefits from it and healing. They got the dogs because PTSD is just huge, and it's huge amongst combat veterans especially. And the VRC, this is Peter McDonald, everybody. Peter and his wife, Peter is a combat veteran, also disabled, took every penny that they had and purchased 11 acres here in Lee, New Hampshire, for the specific purpose of having a tiny home community for homeless combat veterans. As you know, a lot of them come back with disassociation issues. It's very hard to get back into society. And we wanted this, or Peter and his wife at the time wanted this to be a unit, a community, and then, you know, offer and bring social services in and so forth. And anyways, what happened was there was a gentleman across the street who was wasn't a planner. What are they called? A developer. I'm sorry, developer. Peter got the property from a couple at a lower price than the property developer offered, and he got a hair across his ass. Excuse my language. He happened to also...
They've heard worse from me on this channel, I promise you.
Right, all right. Well, that's kind of what I figured. He sat on the planning board of the town, and that's when it all started. This is a chapel. It is a 501c3, the Veterans Resort Chapel. The land can be zoned for a church, and that was requested so that having the zoning for the church itself, the tiny homes can be on this property because they are considered solitary sanctuaries. That's how churches get around it. Without being zoned as a church, we are just a private property and in code violation of having all the sheds and homes. And that's what they are getting us now. All right. Originally, the town was behind us 100%. I mean, Peter wouldn't put everything that he has. Governor Sununu, our governor here in New Hampshire, actually came and walked the property with Peter. There was support for this. Well, once this gentleman across the street started in, and I know for a fact he wants this property, and I know for a fact that he is sitting, waiting for the public auction, which I will tell you about, so he can purchase it and put his big mansions on it. The town will get revenue, he'll get money, and our veterans are back out on the street. All right. So with a series of back and forth, you know, citations and suits and so forth and so on, we brought suit that the town cannot determine or say whether or not you are a church.
Yeah, that's an IRS/federal issue.
Peter has his ministry recorded in the deed records. We meet all 15 tenants required for a church. The chapel is downstairs. It's a working chapel. We have our services. I don't understand why they don't accept us as a church. And this is something that could affect everybody nationally. A town paid attorney came here, saw the chapel, talked to Peter, saw what we did, went back to the selectmen and said there's no semblance of a church, which is bullshit.
They don't. That's not something you bring a town. You have to bring federal people in for that.
The town decided, so now
I don't mean to interrupt. Out of curiosity, Peter's filed taxes for this property already, I'm assuming.
Have you filed taxes for this property?
At any point?
I have tried to get a tax exemption as a church since 2012 when we purchased the property. The town has refused us, saying we're not a church.
Well, what about your federal taxes?
Your federal taxes.
So we're registered with the federal government and the IRS as a church.
Niko, this is why it's so crazy. Now, wow. The suit that we put forth was that a town cannot determine whether or not you're a church, and it went to a county judge. The judge...
It shouldn't have went to a county judge. It should have went to a federal judge.
The judge sided with the town and levied fines on us. $93,000. When that court case came through, then the town levied the attorney's fees, another $26,000.
Wow. Yeah, that's criminal. They're paying off their judges. I mean, that's why these things are supposed to be handled in federal courts, because obviously the county judge, his salary is dependent on the money that goes into the town. And those are elected officials. So yeah, that's pathetic. That's sad, because that's a federal matter. And if you're already a church in the eyes of the federal government, then at that point, it doesn't matter what any town in this country has to say. But what I was saying was, it's the fact that you can put yourself in Oklahoma or create another sanctuary in Oklahoma. And as long as the federal government says that, you know, that the Veterans Chapel is a church, it doesn't matter what Oklahoma wants. It doesn't matter what California wants. They would have to actually take that up with the federal government.
I know. And here's the thing. Okay, just a little backstory. Peter wanted to make sure that we mentioned that when Peter purchased this, he and his wife, he donated everything back to, this is a separate entity. Okay. It's a 501c3. It has a board of directors. So I just want to clarify that Peter technically has nothing to do with this place, because he donated everything he had and formed this organization. So basically what happened is, after that court ruling came through, we had to evict our veterans 10 days before Christmas. The judge gave us, 15 December, they had to be out of their tiny homes, and they were back out on the street. It was in the newspapers. And we just could not. The problem is, we have so much support from the community, but everybody's afraid to say anything, because the selectmen board, which has 2 veterans on it, by the way, and that breaks my heart, is so powerful and so mean-spirited. We still have police, a tow truck driver. They will bring homeless combat veterans here, even though we are not, put them in the chapel to sleep at night. I mean, you know, so the police still recognize us, the fire, but the town wants the property. So the bottom line here is we got a writ of execution about 3 days ago that they plan on putting the VRC up.
For public auction?
Yes. On the 30th of May.
What?
On the 30th of May. What we need and what I'm hoping for, I'm begging for, is a pro bono lawyer to take this and take it, if it has to go all the way up to the Supreme Court.
It needs to go up to the Supreme Court because it's ridiculous. And this is something that...
Knock off crying.
And I don't know what to, you know, we've tried. Governor Sununu won't answer. He says that our letters and our phone calls are being intercepted by his staff. He's playing a blind monkey.
Of course.
And the town has the money and has the attorney. And we sit here just trying to let the world know that what is happening is wrong. It's wrong in a religious aspect. Anybody in the church should be worried that a town can come in and say, you're not a church.
Yeah, it's
and that's
this is something that needs to, this is something that, I mean, just on a larger scale, because this is something
it
that
is a large scale, and our home and our veterans are
because there's so many veterans right now that are
exactly,
you know, that are looking for a place like that. You know, maybe they don't have family. A lot of, like I said, they have PTSD and they don't have anyone to take care of them, and
they're looking for a unit. We are used to units, and this place would be a working unit. And this would, and we're giving back. We have 5 organic raised beds. We're giving back vegetables. We're giving back to the community. Now, here's a thing that I think upsets me more than anything else. We have it in the evidence book, and this was the same evidence book that the county judge read. We have it that the selectmen stated they consider themselves a town of professors and elites. Now, mind you, we're right next to UNH, University of New Hampshire, and that they don't want drunkards and druggies in their town. That is what they consider us.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. And we don't know what to do.
I had no problem with it before until somebody wanted to make money off of it, huh?
Exactly. You know, he's waiting. This is a beautiful 11 acres with 575 feet of private lake, which we were going to put a meditation station out there by the lake. We were going to put a little campsite so that when veterans come back from the deployment, they can bring their families camping there to reconnect. You know, this was going to be. It was going to be when I moved here.
Don't say was. We're going to get you taken care of. We're going to get it taken care of.
This is going to be a prototype. I want it to be a prototype of a community that our veterans can come back to, and to go nationally and tell other states and cities how it's done. But wow, you know, I can't do it now. And we don't know what to do. Peter's, you know, fighting as hard as he can. We do not have the funding for a lawyer because all of our monies go into our veterans. After they were evicted, I took, because the 501c3 is still operational, I started going out, loading my van, finding my veterans under bridges and so forth, and helping them that way. But right now, Niko, we are stuck. And if there is anybody out there that has any law experience or knows of a pro bono lawyer that is strong enough to take this as far as it has to go, I would definitely appreciate them getting in touch with us, because we're going to lose it.
If I may just speak for a minute.
Yeah, absolutely, Pete. Go ahead. Make sure you can speak up so they can hear you.
Speak to stock.
I just like to put a positive aspect on this. Since we started and put the building up in 2013, we've helped 23 veterans plus that have come to the property with no taxpayers' dollars or anything. 15 of these veterans now have jobs and got their heads straight, or they got their VA medical benefits reinstated, because there's a law that veterans that do not have a street address cannot get medical care from the government. So we have helped them use this address to get medical care. But out of the 23, 15 of now have their own apartments and are doing well in society. 3 have died from chemicals, Agent Orange in Vietnam, 1 from Afghanistan and 1 from Iraq. And 6 were ejected from the property and now are living homeless back on the streets. So we've had a positive impact far beyond what I ever dreamed of since we started in 2013. Veterans, all veterans deserve at least a chance to come home and find their way back. And that's what, as a combat veteran, I was homeless for 3 years. And that was my intent, to give these veterans a chance so that people can understand that we're not bad people. We just seem bad because our minds are not straight. And with a little help and a little chance, we can come home. And that's what the Veterans Resort Chapel is. It's a church that was started by homeless combat veterans back in 1980. And that church, since 1980, has been going around with ministers on the streets finding homeless people. When we identify one as a homeless veteran, we buy him a cup of coffee and a McDonald's Happy Meal and try to instill how God and man can help them come back if they just want to take a chance. So that's what we're doing. So I just wanted to put that positive aspect in, that this Veterans Resort Chapel idea is working far beyond I ever dreamed possible because of what we're doing to help veterans by giving them a place to pray and talk to the supreme being of their choice. Now, the town objects to that.
That's right. It's a point.
Because they do not want homeless combat veterans living in their town because we're all drug addicts and alcoholics, so they say. But we do no harm here. We're 11 acres of land, and these veterans come here, and they can stay on the property free of charge with all rent and utilities paid and find their own way back. And that's what we need. We need to find our own way back. People that never served, like doctors and lawyers and everything else, cannot tell us something that they have no idea what we're going through. By letting them find their own way back, we've had good success in 3 years. We've helped 15 veterans come back. So give us a chance. That's all I got to say. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Well,
where can people contact you all at?
All right. We have a Facebook page, veteransresortchapel.com. No, Veterans Resort Chapel. We will have our site back up and running, veteransresortchapel.com. But
veteran, singular.
Veteran
has no S on it.
Okay, veteransresortchapel.com. But you please feel free to share my Facebook link underneath.
Yeah, the one that you sent me?
Yeah, the funny spelling of O2L. Another thing that is crazy here is they're not, one of the arguments against deeming us a church is the fact that we do not practice one religion. What they don't understand, Niko, you are a brother. You know that a chaplain in the military may be a Catholic chaplain, but must oversee his flock of all religions.
You could be a Jedi master. It doesn't even matter.
I could run around naked with church written on me and no one, and this is just, we are the little guy here, but we are strong and we are fighting. We have just come to a point now that without some intervention, without someone who knows and can stand up to the system, we're going to lose it. I mean, I've already lost it, but I mean, we're going to.
Listen, we're gonna do our best to get you somebody. And hopefully more than one person. If people want to donate to you, is there any way that they can do that?
They can donate on the Facebook page or off of the Facebook page. Is there a donate button?
I believe there's a donate button. Or they can, there's a PayPal thing on the website.
On the website? Okay.
Page.
Or on the Facebook.
Yeah, if you post the PayPal link to the Facebook page, and if you send me the PayPal link, I'm more than positive people will donate.
All right. What I will do is I will send you the links after this is over, because honestly, we have fought so hard with this. It just needs to get done, Niko.
I know. We're going to do what we can. Well, thank you all. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Thanks for your stories. Thanks for fighting, because like I said, this is something that could be implemented literally across the country. It would totally change what, you know, like you said, there are a lot of veterans right now not getting their benefits simply because they don't have an address.
Exactly.
And the fact that anybody could take that away for a couple of dollars that they're going to spend in the wrong places anyway, on the wrong people.
Well, you know, we're all
Instead of
drunken.
go back to the
We're all
community.
drunken and druggy, so we wouldn't know what to do with the money anyway. You know,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've seen more rich druggies than I've ever seen poor druggies. And that's coming from somebody who lives in Miami. So,
let me just assure you that 100% of any of the money that comes in here goes to help the veterans. Nobody gets any pay. You don't get reimbursed for anything you donate or buy for the property. 100% of all money goes into the People's United Bank Veterans Resort Chapel account, and it's all accounted for on our 990 tax forms.
Awesome.
So 100% of any money goes to the veterans.
So if you're going to donate, you don't have to worry about it. This isn't a Red Cross situation or a Humane Society.
It goes right to us. It goes
0.001% goes to actual animals.
Nope. This
It's all going to go to the vets.
Exactly, which is why we're sitting here now not being able to afford a lawyer. I mean, we never thought this was, you know, going to happen. And we need a fighter, Niko. We need a fighter, and we will fight with them. I mean, look who I got behind me. You know, we will fight, but we don't have the legal expertise to know how to go about doing this. We've tried everything we can, and we're still losing.
Well, let's see what we can do to get you some help. Thank you so much for coming on, Shannon. Pete, the website again, the website has an S on it in the sign.
The website has an S, Veterans Resort Chapel.
The Facebook has an S. The website is Veterans, singular.
Well, you didn't tell me that when I made the sign. Oh my God!
Also,
Oops.
if I could straighten one more thing out, our church, we are a church that was started in 1980, and because a lot of combat veterans found God during combat missions like I did, we believe that there's one supreme being, but we all talk to that supreme being by calling them different names and talk to them in different religious languages. But we're still all talking to the same supreme being. That is what the Veterans Resort Chapel is. And that's why we're here for all the combat veterans and all the veterans in the United States of America, because we all believe in the United States and we all believe in God and country.
And right now, my belief system is being cracked.
Well, stay strong. Stay strong.
We're trying.
Listen,
please, if I could just.
You got to think about it like this. Like Peter put a positive spin on what's happening, what's been going on. If I didn't happen to check my messages that day, because I don't get to check my messages every day. And sometimes whenever I've missed important things because they get backed up, and some people don't know how to get to my email because, you know, things happen. But I'm glad I checked it that day.
Well, you were
being a veteran.
I reached out to you, and only you. You were the first one and I just knew. And now we just hope that someone has watched this and will contact us at veteranresortchapel.com and on our Facebook page. The Facebook page is up and running. I'm going to send you my link. Yeah, I know. Hey, we're grunts here, you know, this whole techie thing. I don't know what's going on.
It doesn't take brains to be a Marine. You just got to have a brass ass and go up that hill.
There you go. All right, people.
Listen, my friend, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And I will keep you informed if in fact people reach out. And we're holding the line. We are holding the line for churches right now. We are holding the line for our veterans, because this could happen nationally. We are the line. We need backup right now. We really do.
Well, thank you all so much for tuning in. And more than anything, people, always remember, find your balance. Peace.